Go. All right. Imagination, image nation, the creativity of imagination, the philosophy of imagination, and the psychology of imagination. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, the creativity of imagination is like, what can you create from scratch? What can you create from nothing? What ideas, what imagery, what thought forms can you actually think of just off of the natural phenomena of you actually thinking? What's the difference between streams of thought and thoughts of streams? You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you were to reciprocate that, abundance, pretty much getting your mind to actually think in streams and actually identify those thoughts, because that's something that actually opens your mind up to what is called imagination. That's like the creative side of it. Now, the philosophy of imagination is, when you're going through life and you're actually experiencing certain things in life, there are some morals and some ethics and some dogmas that actually kind of have come from the ground up just based off interactions with people, based off just foundational knowledge, and kind of how civilizations have started, because most civilizations and most companies and most traditions have started just from philosophies and imagining how I'm going to treat you, imagining how I'm going to treat the next person. The golden rule, does set the tone and set the rules for the philosophy of imagination. Now, the psychology of imagination, everybody's like, oh, it's not real, or oh, that's scary, it's just your imagination, or I don't know what this is, it's not, I just don't know what it is, it's just something I'm imagining. That is something that, is kind of in the context of the psychology of imagination. Because what emotions, are invoked in imagination, that actually really intrigues me, because when you imagine something and then your emotions connect to that thought form or that stream of thought, that's when, psychological issues or psychological things start to actually occur. And this stuff absolutely fascinates me. I'm almost mesmerized by what imagination does to humanity, what imagination does to the human condition, what we're actually preconditioned to actually innately know just based off what we imagine. And something to actually strengthen your imagination is just to absorb. If you go out into the forest, if you go out into the city like we are today, and you just start looking at things with the openest mind that you possibly can, you will start to actually see things that you never thought you saw before. You will start to perceive things that you've never perceived before. You will start to conceive things the way that you've never conceived before. And you will actually become that much smarter, that much more creative, that much more philosophical, and that much more understanding of your emotions and where you stand with the actual thoughts that you have. And that to me is just absolutely crazy. So I implore people to actually go out into the wild. I implore people to actually, go to the city. I want people to actually do stuff that they've never done before, because that's what sparks your imagination. That's what gets you thinking of the most whacked out ideas, like the idea between an alien and a farmer, or a sailor and a unicorn, sailing the cosmic ocean of thought, all these oceans, all these waves and oceans, sail the 7 seas, go beyond what is unknown, escape the matrix. These are things that will spark your imagination. Now, understand that when you get too deep, your imagination and your emotions, you got to be careful and be aware of your emotions when you're going into those very deep Alice in Wonderland, Mariana Trench type thoughts. Those thoughts are actually, very overwhelming, and they hold a lot of mental energy. So just understand that your emotions play a huge part in your imagination, and you can they're almost fuel for your imagination. So if you can put a lot of fire and a lot of water and a lot of happiness and a lot of joy and a lot of positivity into what you're imagining, your imagination gets that much bigger, it gets that much more complex, and it gets that much more fun. So thank you so much for listening. I want to spread this out to every single person in the world. If you're listening, thank you for watching. My name is Nate Hill. This is Primordial, Successions, Imagination. Thank you.